today is gonna be a really cool day. We have potentially one of the coolest mods I have ever put on the Supra. These are the brand new taillights from Alpharex USA. These taillights look absolutely nuts. First of all, I love how it's black housing, unlike the OEM red housing. These look great too, but these look nuts. You can see like the 3 LED bars going across the length of the taillight. You can see the LED bar down here. So I have the 2 taillights side by side so you guys can see the difference. This is the OEM red one, which looks clean, and I've always liked this taillight, but I love the black housing and the aggressiveness of these LED bars here. So this is kind of, the Alpharex one is kind of like a cyberpunky style taillight, while the OEM one is like a clean, you know, responsible taillight. Now I don't actually have any red on my car, so I've always wanted to change out the color of the taillights. So kind of the annoying thing about taking off the super rear taillights is you have to take off the rear bumper, and in order to take off the rear bumper you have to jack up the whole car, or at least like the rear portion of the car. So it's not as easy as like a Civic Type R where you can just unbolt the rear taillights, but once we have the bumper off it should be pretty straightforward. Alright, so first step to taking off the rear bumper is you're going to pop these covers off. Really easy, just pull it. This one comes off, and then you're going to undo these screws right here, and you have one right here. Take these ones out. I have an aftermarket Ings bumper, but this will be really similar to your OEM one. So now we're going to take off their 2 rear wheels, this side and the other side. You don't technically have to take off the rear wheels, but it makes your life a lot easier. So I highly suggest just taking them off. There we go. So the reason why we want to take the wheel off is it makes it a lot easier to access these 8mm bolts that we need to take off. So we have one right there, we have an 8mm bolt right there. You're going to have one right here, but I'm missing that one. The hardest one to reach is the 8mm bolt way up in the wheel well that actually holds your rear bumper on. So you're going to want to take those 4 off on the driver's side and the passenger side. Now that we have those 8mm bolts off, this should just slip right off. There you go. Nice and easy. Now the last set of bolts we have to take off are under the diffuser. This is an aftermarket Ings bumper, but the OEM bolt locations with the aftermarket bumper and the OEM bumper are the same. So let me show you guys where those bolts are. You're gonna be looking under here, and you see we have one bolt location there, which I don't have, but if you have the OEM bumper, that one's gonna need to come out. Then you have another bolt here, right next to the reverse light that needs to come out. Same with the other side of the diffuser. You're going to have a bolt right there that needs to come out, and the bolt right here, which again I don't have, but if you have OEM bumper you'll have one right there. Okay, so we have all the bolts on the driver's side off, the passenger side off, and the bolts up top, but theoretically the bumper can come off now. But you guys have to be really careful because the wiring for the rear camera, the wiring for the lights, and the wiring for the rear reverse, they're still attached to the wiring harness of the car. So if you just drop the rear bumper, it's going to rip those wires out. So this is where you might need a buddy. You need to take the bumper off slowly, detach all the wires, and then you can put the bumper on the ground. You have to hold it up to disconnect the wires. There you go. Stay there. Okay. Pull it back a little bit. So all those wires are the ones that need to get disconnected before dropping the rear bumper. We have the plugs for the license plate light out. We have the rear camera off. Now we're going to go and do the reverse light. The reverse light is easily accessed from the bottom. So get under the car, reach in here, and pull this one off. The side I'm on. So there we go. The plug is out. Now the bumper can come off. Go back. Slowly. Slowly. Okay, stop. Okay, hold it right here. Almost forgot, make sure to unplug the ultrasonic sensor wiring harness. It's really long though, so this one won't pull off when you take off the bumper. There we go. Okay, this is kind of an awkward angle, but we are inside the trunk now, and we're going to be taking off this plastic panel. And the reason we're doing that is to gain access to the bolts that are holding in the tail lights. Now, in order to take this plastic panel off, you're going to take off 2 pop clips that are in here. There's a hole here, and there's a hole here that has a pop clip. Then you're going to undo these little twisty things here to undo this flap. And inside the flap, you're going to see these Torx bolts. So you have that one right here, and then you're going to have another Torx bolt underneath this flap right there. And once you undo those, you'll be able to pull this panel out. So we got the Torx bolts off on the bottom and the pop clips off on the top here. It's a little tough to get this panel off, but you gotta just pull up and out really aggressively. So like pull up and out really aggressively and it'll pop off. So we have this out. Alright, now that we have this center main panel off, we're gonna move off to the sides. So once we have this interior part removed, we should be able to gain access to the taillight bolts. Got a pop clip right here that we'll take off. Okay, now to find out where the nuts are located on the Supra taillight, we can actually look at the Alpharex taillight. So you see you're going to need to take off a nut that's right here, a nut that's down here, and a nut that's in this corner here. So there's 3 total nuts per side that we need to take off. Okay, so now I have everything in the middle kind of away and the privacy cover off. Once you get that pop clip off, you can kind of pull this whole thing outwards like this. And that gives you access to the bolt that to the nut that's holding taillight in here, and there's a nut way down here that's holding the taillight in. First nut is pretty easy to reach. You're gonna stick your 10mm socket into that hole, and it's right there, so you should be able to undo it fairly easy. Do not drop the nut into the frame of the car. So as you can see, so we have the nut that holds in this side of the taillight off, the 10mm nut, and that we were able to use a regular 10mm socket. But for the nut that's deep inside on this side, you're gonna need a ratcheting 10mm wrench. You can use a regular 10mm wrench, but it's gonna make your life a lot harder. So trust me guys, get a ratcheting one. The reason why you can't use the socket and wrench setup in this deep corner is because it's too tight, so you need something that's flatter like this. Do not drop these into your car. You're gonna have a bad time. Okay, 10mm nut is off. Cool. So yeah, this is a lifesaver to getting this far nut. Now for the bottom nut that's located right here, we can use your regular 10mm socket setup. Okay, all 3 nuts are out. Okay, assuming we did everything correctly, this should just come out. Easy. Oh, and there's a plug right here that we're gonna disconnect. That red clip, we need to get behind it with some kind of flathead. So I'm gonna get behind it with my tool here and just pop it out like that. So once you have that red clip popped out, you're gonna push on top of this black tab right here. So we're gonna push down on that tab. And then it's gonna disconnect like that. So, pop. So I should mention that the rear taillight set I have from Alpharex right now is a prototype set. The production set might be a little bit different, but the installation process should be more or less the same. That being said, we have these 2 blue wires in the rear that are disconnected. They're disconnected because that enables the rear taillight to keep its sequential turn signal look. If you connect these 2 blue wires, then it cancels out the sequential feature of the rear taillight. So we're going to leave these disconnected. This plug obviously would just go into the OEM harness that we just disconnected, and the rest we just do in reverse. I gotta admit, this is a lot more involved than I originally anticipated, but it's okay. We still have sunlight, so that's good. We're going to install this one and do the exact same thing on the passenger side, and after that we're going to put everything back on and see how it looks. Alright, so I want to show you guys how I kind of routed the wiring. The black box and everything that you see like down here that's attached to the tail light, I just routed behind the black plastic cover. And the power cable, which is attached to the black box, I routed outside of this cavity here. So we're just going to go ahead and connect that to the OEM power harness, and these should turn on. Plug this in like that. Nice. Mount this back here. Alright, so have everything plugged in. I'm gonna go in the car and turn the hazards on. I can't wait to see what this looks like. The housing already looks so cool. No red. I love it. How does it look? Dang! You see the sequential right there? I know it's a little bright out. Let me see if I can reduce the... Dang. But you guys can see this sequential feature right here. So this is the Alpharex style taillight. Super crazy and cool. This is the OEM one on this side. So you guys can kind of see the difference of the Alpharex taillight right here and the OEM one right here. Super cool. We're going to do the same thing to the passenger side, get that installed, and put the bumper on and do everything in reverse. So I'll see you guys once everything's in. Ooh.
You really like the startup, huh?
Dude, it's so cool. Hey, where's my drink?
Oh shit!
Y'all forgot my drink, huh?
Oh, you forgot his drink?
Oh,
his diet Dr. Coke?
아이고. Hey, so what is your guys' opinion?
I'm a slut for clears.
Dude, the clear taillight from the rear is like super sick.
I'm a slut for clear lights.
I like the clear too. We're both for clear, sluts for clear lights. I think the consensus is everyone likes it. Honestly, we were all kind of skeptical from the initial pictures, but seeing it in real life, it works. I do think though, in order to pull this off, your car needs to be like, have like crazy aero, like big aero in the rear, and then I can pull it off. But if these taillights are on like an OEM spec car, I'm not sure if it'll look too good. Oh, if you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I do really like the taillights. Unfortunately, I had to give them back to Alpharex because again, they were just a prototype set that I was just testing out. If you guys are interested in purchasing the taillights, I'll have them in the link down in the description box below. I am an Alpharex dealer, so according to them, the pre-orders will start now, but they should start shipping out. The orders should start shipping out at the end of April 2025. They have multiple versions too. They have a red lens version of the laser taillights that you guys just saw. What's also cool is they also made like a FT1 style taillight as well with a clear lens and a red lens. So those are cool. Make sure to check them out. And yeah, I'm starting to pump out more videos for you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know what you guys think of the taillights. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.